Salutations, my name is Summer and this is Sterling Reads, and I want to talk about The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck. I started a new project where I read a book in a single day. Every Sunday I hope to read a book that's under 300 pages and just spend that day enjoying myself reading. I started this project because I don't usually read short books. I have a big stack back there where I just avoid them and go for the bigger, chunkier books that I always love. But I am so glad that I started this and that I read this yesterday. I absolutely loved it. I was a little hesitant and nervous about picking up another John Steinbeck because I want to love everything of his as much as I love The Grapes of Wrath. And that has not been the case. I read East of Eden and I enjoyed it. And then I read The Pearl and it was okay, and then I read Tortilla Flat and I didn't really care for it, so I was nervous. But this book is so wonderful. I mean, the first sentence: by 10:45 it was all over, the town was occupied, the defenders defeated, and the war finished. So it starts you out where, an army comes in and they take over this town. And I love that we do not know who the army is and we don't know exactly where the town is. I feel like that's very important because it's easy when you start labeling people's nationalities and then just, you start to get this, you form this idea in your mind. But when you don't have that, and it could be anybody's army occupying anybody's land, it's so refreshing. I had the same thing happen. I just read Hot Planet by Hal Clement, and it's very short also. And it was the same way where nobody had a nationality, he did not describe, it was male, female, and how the people were described was by their occupation, like what they did for a living, why they were on this, going to this planet. And so here was the same thing, I love that it could be anybody from anywhere. Now, I'm sure if you guys read a lot of history, you can, there's many places that you could say, oh, that was this place and this army, especially thinking about when John Steinbeck wrote this. But yeah, I love this. We have the mayor of the town, and everybody is shocked. Nobody was expecting this. Nobody was ready for this. I think they had they might have had 12 officers guarding the place, but 6 of them were shot down in the beginning. I think 3 escaped, and then I don't remember what happened to the other 3, or maybe it was just 6. But so it's not like this army came in and started slaughtering everybody. It was very organized. They knew what they were doing. They knew the town. And you find out that they knew the town because there was this man, this shopkeeper that everybody loved named Corral, who was a spy for the army. Now, all these people, this is such of a friendly town. And Corral has made himself a home here. And when he comes in with the army and the mayor realizes that he was a traitor, that he gave all this information to this army, he was so taken aback, he couldn't believe it. And the spy, Corral, thinks he can just continue on his life in this town and there not be any repercussions, nobody's going to care. So that was interesting to me. And also the colonel, I think his name was Laser or something like that, he wants the mayor to do all these different things. He wants the mayor to be a part of this. He wants to live at the palace where the mayor lives, so that way it's the people will think that the mayor is going along with them and is okay with all this. And the mayor is like, what do the people want? He's like, I don't rule these people. These people, they're the ones, they're going to do what they want to do. And that comes up throughout the book where the colonel's like, no, you need to tell your people to do this. And the mayor's like, I'm not going to tell them what to do. And I love, there's a moment where the mayor's wife said she never makes the mistake of she never makes the mistake of forgetting that her husband and the mayor are two different men, something like that, which was interesting because it's true. You know, when you have that authority, it's like you're a different person at home than you are when you're doing your job. So I thought that was interesting. And I love all the different characters. Steinbeck, he makes everybody human. And we see both sides. We see the side of the people who have been invaded, and we see the invaders. I would say conquerors, but the people who were conquered, they went over and over again that we are free. And, you know, that's throughout the book. But at first, the people who invaded, they were so happy. They're like, oh my gosh, this land is beautiful. The people are so friendly. I want to make a home here. And then as we go along, they're like, oh, the people are so cold here. I'm so lonely. Winter came early. Everybody's starving. And there's these two soldiers who are standing guard somewhere, and they hear a dog howling. And the one guy starts to complain about it, and the other guy says, oh no, you know, I miss the sound of dogs. Do you ever think we'll have dogs again? And the other officer said, these people are fools. You know, they shouldn't have dogs. They're starving. And that reminded me of a book I read called The Dog Man, where this Japanese man, he saved his Akita line during the war where everybody was starving. So that brought that up for me. There's another moment where the colonel is talking to the lieutenant. There's a lieutenant who is so lonely. He starts trying to make friends with a woman in town, but the woman in town, her husband had been murdered. That's something else that's important. So in the very beginning, there is a man who works the mines because the army wants all this coal. And that's why they went to this town to begin with, is because they want their coal to take back. And there was this miner who's like, I'm a free man. I will go home when I want to go home. And an officer told him no, and I think he attacked him or whatever. Well, this man kills this officer. And then, of course, they bring the man to trial, which is a joke, and we all know that. But the colonel tells the mayor, he said, you need to, say that this guy is going to be killed, that he deserves to be killed, that he murdered an officer. And he said, well, when you came in and you invaded, how many men did you kill of mine? And he said, 6 soldiers. And he said, how many men held guns up to the men who were shot at those men? And he said, I don't know, maybe 20 officers. He said, well, when those 20 officers are charged for murder of my 6, then I'll charge the minor, of murder to your officer. And it's like, of course, nobody would think of that, because in war, they don't think of it as murder in a sense. So I thought that was an important thing that the mayor said. And, so there's this lieutenant. He's very lonely. He wants to go back home. He's tried to make friends with this woman, and it's the woman whose husband was killed for murdering that officer. And of course, she doesn't want to be friends with him. And she's like, are you going to force me? And he's like, well, no, of course. And she's like, well, you conquered us. You can do whatever you want. Why are you even asking me? And he's like, no, I don't want it to be like that. So it's interesting when you look at when he's showing us both sides and the human, it's very human characters. So this colonel, is telling this lieutenant how it is. Now I'll tell you, and I hope you'll understand it. You're not a man anymore. You are a soldier. Your comfort is of no importance, and Lieutenant, your life isn't much importance. If you live, you will have memories. That's about all you will have. Meanwhile, you must take orders and carry them out. Most of the orders will be unpleasant, but that's not your business. I will not lie to you, Lieutenant. They should have trained you for this, and not for flower-strewn streets. They should have built your soul with truth, not led along with lies. His voice grew hard. But you took the job, Lieutenant. Will you stay with it, or will you quit it? We can't take care of your soul. Prattle stood up. Thank you, sir. And the girl, Lancer continued. The girl, Lieutenant. You may rape her, or protect her, or marry her. That is of no importance, so long as you shoot her when it is ordered. Prattle said wearily, Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It's like John Steinbeck. Oh my gosh, I just love his writing so much, and his characters, and how you feel this, you feel this for these people. So at the very end, there is a sentence that I had to go and look up, and I was so happy that I did. And I'm not going to be able to find, because I didn't mark it with, see, this is why I mark my books up. But I wrote it down, so I have it here. Okay, so the mayor looks at Winter, who is the doctor, and he says, Crito, we owe a cock to Asclepius. Pay it, and don't forget. And I was like, what does this mean? So I guess Plato says that Socrates' last words were, Crito, we owe a cock to Asclepius. Pay it and don't forget. Asclepius, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, was the god of health, and the sacrifice of a cock was a normal offering of thanks for recovering from illness. Socrates believed he was cured of the disease of life and was not frightened by his death. Wow. Wow, John Steinbeck. So there's a lot more in this book, of course. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was wonderful. I'm excited for next Sunday when I choose another under 300-page book to read. And if I like it, I'll discuss it with you guys. That's one thing. I don't talk about books I don't like. I'll let you guys know that it wasn't for me, but I'm not going to go rag on a book. I DNF'd a book last month, or it was this month. And that's the thing. If a book's not for me, it's not for me. I don't need to badmouth it. You know what I mean? Because I know that it is someone's well-loved book somewhere. Anyway, The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck. And I guess The Moon is Down was taken from Macbeth, which I have not read. And I will be reading my first Shakespeare. I'll be reading King Lear next month. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about everything, guys. Anyway, if you have any thoughts or comments or anything about Steinbeck or Socrates or Plato, or Shakespeare, leave it in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.